Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jessa and I am the creatress of the blog, The Nude Blogger. I am also a naked yoga teacher and a nudist. So today's video is going to be a candid Q&A about being a nudist and the nudist lifestyle. So a few days ago, I threw it out there on my socials and got all of you to send me through all of your juiciest questions, whatever you want to know about being a nudist, about what's involved in being a part of the nudist lifestyle. So today I have 15 frequently asked questions, and this isn't even all of it, so there is more than likely going to be a part 2 to this video, but I thought I would do 15 questions today. So let's get started. Question number 1. Do you ever wear clothes? As a matter of fact, yes, I do. I do wear clothes. Clothes serve a very practical function. You know, they keep you warm. They can be great for safety reasons, and for legal reasons, I do wear clothes when I leave the house. So yes, I do wear clothes. Okay, question number 2. What is the etiquette when visiting family and friends who are not nudists? Or what about when they visit you? So obviously I'm going to be speaking pretty personally in this Q&A. When I visit my family and friends who are not nudists, I wear clothes. Because that would be the normal thing to do. If they were nudists, very different story. I would go and visit them in the nude. But if they're not nudists, I will wear clothes. And when they come to visit me, I'm usually wearing clothes. Now, I do know people in the nudist community who, for example, have like a nudist resort. And so there is the understanding with their family that anytime their family comes to visit them in their home, which is a nudist stay or like a nudist zone where it's clothes free, there is the understanding that they will be naked when they're at home, so their family and friends understand that, and then a lot of the time nudists will wear clothes when their family and friends come and visit them. But for me personally, I'm usually wearing clothes when my friends and my family come and visit me. Question number 3. What do your family and friends think about your lifestyle choice? So for me, my family and my friends are accepting of my choice, thank goodness. And whilst they aren't necessarily involved in the lifestyle themselves, nor do they advocate or not even necessarily agree some of the time, they are accepting, and that's all that I ask for, is that they're accepting. They don't need to be nudists themselves in order for me to associate with them. So yeah, they're accepting, and you know, some of them have even come to be proud about the work that I'm doing, even though they don't necessarily really understand it themselves. As I mentioned, nor do they necessarily always agree. They are accepting. So yeah. Question number 4. How do you deal with judgment? So obviously, being somebody that speaks very publicly and very candidly about my involvement in the nudist lifestyle and community, obviously there's the understanding that you go into this knowing that there are going to be people that judge you for your choices, and it's a matter of making peace with that. And for me, it's been a really beautiful journey of really understanding that other people's judgments of you say and have nothing to do with you, and it has everything to do with them. And if anything, I just I see more, it teaches me more about them, because most of the time other people's judgments is merely them projecting their own conditioning, their own belief systems, their own insecurities, whatever it is. Most of the time people's judgments are just merely them projecting their own inner thoughts onto you. And I think it's really important to remember and understand that other people's judgments say nothing about you, and this is a really liberating realization. So for me, it's sort of like, if you judge me, that's on you, and I'm gonna keep doing me, because I love the person that I am, and whilst you don't necessarily agree with everything that I do or say, that's fine. We don't have to agree on everything, but if you're going to judge me, then that's on you, and it says more about you than it does me. So I just brush it off. Question number 5. I'm a nudist, but my partner is not. How do I convince them to get involved in the nudist lifestyle? And I'm going to address the same question which people have asked. How do I get my textile friends or non-nudist friends to get involved or try out naturism or nudism? Okay, so for me personally, it's not necessarily about having to convince people to be a part of the lifestyle. I really do believe people should make their own informed decisions. And the way I have and would approach the situation is by educating people on the lifestyle, not necessarily trying to impose your beliefs onto them. So it's being really mindful of, you know, not blurring that line of, you know, educating versus imposing. I think, you know, when you impose your way of being, your belief system onto people, it actually can, if anything, push them away even more or create more resistance. So for me, it really is a matter of educating that person or those people about the lifestyle. And I always say this to people is talk about how it empowers you. So rather than just being like, it's really, you know, blah, like, this is what it's going to do for you, blah, blah, talk about how it actually has empowered you. Speak about your experience and speak about how your experience has really helped to empower you, has really helped to transform the way you relate to your body, the way you feel about yourself, the way you perceive yourself, your relationship with yourself. So talk about these things, because it's those things that people really yearn for. Those, you know, those empowering kinds of mindsets and choices. So that's how I would approach that situation. So being careful to not force people, and just remembering that so long as they are accepting of your choices, that's the first step, and that's probably the most important thing, you know. Not everybody has to be doing the same thing as you, but I totally get it. Like, you, especially if you have a partner and you love the lifestyle, you want them to be involved. I get that. So like I said, let them go at their own pace, introduce them slowly, talk about the benefits, speak about the empowerment that it's, you know, it's helped you to feel within your own self, your own being, your own life, and take it from there. That's how I would approach the situation personally. Question number 6. I'm a home/closet nudist. How do I take that first step into social nudity? Okay, so if you're a home or closet nudist, you're probably already, you know, pretty acquainted with your own nudity, which is what I always recommend first and foremost for anybody looking to get into the lifestyle. Get acquainted and comfortable with your own nudity first and foremost. I've made a video about this, about, you know, called the Home Nudist, 5 tips to help you get more comfortable being naked. So if you're already at that point where you feel pretty comfortable being naked in your own company, I think it's then a matter of maybe looking at what's stopping you from actually getting involved. Is it fear of judgment? Is it fear of, you know, are you feeling shy? Is it a lack of confidence? So looking at what is actually stopping you from getting involved and really addressing those things first and foremost. And if it's a matter of you merely just do not know where to start, like you really want to, you're really keen, but you just don't know where to start, I would recommend reaching out to, if you know of a reputable nudist community or a group, reaching out, putting your feelers out, asking about reputable nude beaches or a nude stay maybe, like or even like a reputable event, like a nudist friendly event. And I highlight the word reputable because you want to make sure that wherever you go or whoever you're surrounding yourself with, especially if it's like your first time involving yourself in social nudity, you want to make sure there's integrity and respect, and you want to make sure that it is a safe space and place and a reputable one. So that would be, yeah, I always say, if you're feeling pretty comfortable, maybe go to a nude beach to start off, like a reputable nude beach, and just check that out first. And then maybe you might want to go to like a nude stay, and then, you know, maybe it's a nude event, whatever it is for you. Our journeys are all going to look very individual and unique. Okay, so question number 7. When did you start in the nudist lifestyle? So I have done another YouTube video called My Journey into the Nudist Lifestyle, which I'm going to link below, because I really go in depth about with this question and question number 8 coming next. But when did I start in the nudist lifestyle? So I started topless. I'm going to do a very quick timeline, but I'd recommend checking out that video down below, My Journey into the Nudist Lifestyle. So I started topless sunbaking when I was about 18 or 19. I am 32 years old now, so that was like 14 years ago. So I started topless sunbaking, and then I started actually going to, I went to my first nude beach when I was about 25, I think, 24 or 25. And then I went to my first ever nudist, it was a nudist campsite in Montenegro, and I was 27, so it was in 2015. Yes, and that was my real, like, you know, other than going on a nude beach, yeah, that was my first step into really getting involved in social nudity outside of a nude beach. And the rest is history, and here I am now. I've got a blog that talks about nudity and nudist lifestyle. I'm a naked yoga teacher, so, and now I'm on YouTube naked. So here we go. Question number 8. How did you get started in the lifestyle? Again, I'm going to encourage you to check out my other YouTube video, My Journey into a Nudist Lifestyle. How did I get started in it? So yeah, I really enjoyed topless sunbaking for many years, as I mentioned in the previous question. And I didn't feel comfortable going topless at textile beaches or clothed sort of beaches. It drew too much unwanted attention, and I heard about a nude beach that was pretty local to me and decided to check that out. And I went there the first time and kept going back. I couldn't get enough, so that's how I got into it. And yeah, and then I started going fully naked at that nude beach rather than just topless, and came to love the feeling and the liberation and the freedom and just let the lack of this competitiveness that I felt in the air at like textile beaches, and you know, this sense of judgment that I felt more so at textile beaches than at a nude beach, because at the nude beach there were all different people of all different sizes, shapes, body types, backgrounds, and it was really refreshing because there was so much diversity and people were so comfortable in the skin that they were in, and that was really refreshing because that didn't always feel like the case at a textile beach. So yeah. All right, let's move on. Question number 9. How do you find like-minded nudie friends / community? Okay, so again, as I mentioned in a previous question, I think it's about finding a reputable group, and sort of, you know, having the courage to put your feelers out. Finding friends isn't always the easiest thing because you've got to be willing to put yourself out there. So, you know, having the courage to put your feelers out, if you know of any sort of local groups or meetups or anything like that, reputable, always highlighting reputable, and yeah, putting your feelers out. And it might be a matter of finding like a nude stay, like if there's a nude stay about, or even if you have to travel a little bit, and asking the owners, asking other nudists at the place of, you know, any like other places they'd recommend, any groups or beaches or things like that. And if there's any sort of events, like for example, I've got my naked yoga classes, in which it's a really beautiful space to network as well. And I've made plenty of nudie friends through my naked yoga classes, and I have seen many people form friendships in my naked yoga classes, and friendships that are ongoing that I'm also a part of, and it's a really beautiful thing. So I think it's just about finding a reputable group, reputable events, and just being willing to like put yourself out there, and yeah, I suppose go to more social sort of nudist friendly events. So yeah. All right, question number 10. Do you ever feel aroused when you are naked around other nudists? No, I don't, because any sort of nudist friendly events I go to are not sexually charged. So there isn't that, the space hasn't been created with that intention. And so I understand the context of the nudity, which is not sexual. And so I do not feel aroused. It really is as simple as that. I do not feel aroused when I'm naked around other nudists. Okay, question number 11. What do I do if I become aroused in a nudist setting? So if you become aroused in a nudist setting, you know, I totally understand that for many people, getting involved in the lifestyle, for the most part of their lives, nudity has been seen as a sexual thing. For most of us probably even watching this, our conditioning is that nudity is associated with sex, or that nudity is sexual. And so when you're really working to rewire your neural pathways, when you're really working to recondition your mindset, it's a journey, and it's not just a click of the finger, okay. It's a journey. And so going to these events, there might be some nerves because, you know, there's fear of that conditioning coming up. So if you do become aroused, I would just recommend reminding yourself of why you're there in the first place, reminding yourself of the context of the environment, and taking a few deep breaths, breathing, checking in with yourself. And if you have a penis and you become erect, for example, there are a few options. You know, some people like to roll over onto their bellies if they're lying down and just take a few deep breaths there. Other people, if they're near like a body of water, like if they're at the beach or something, or a pool, just go and jump in the water. Some people might step away from the situation or the environment and maybe go to the bathroom, take a few deep breaths there. Or you could always, some people are okay to just let it be, take a few deep breaths and let it pass. If you are a vulva owner, you can do the same thing. You could always roll over, take a few deep breaths, jump into some water, take a few deep breaths, collect yourself, maybe remove yourself for a moment, go to the bathroom, take a few deep breaths, and remind yourself of why you're there. So it's as simple as that. It's so long as, you know, the important thing is that you do not make other people uncomfortable by projecting any sort of desires or any sort of arousal onto other people without consent. So you don't want to be, you know, gawking at someone. If there's someone that you find attractive, you don't want to be gawking at them and making them feel uncomfortable, because people can sense that energy. So the most important thing is that you handle yourself respectfully, that you handle yourself appropriately, and that you do not cross any boundaries. That is the most important thing. So yes, question number 12, which is sort of going to tie in a little bit. How do I deal with attraction in a nudist setting? Okay, so I have written an entire article on social nudity and attraction because it's something I get asked frequently, obviously. And we have to remember that attraction is human nature. Whether you are clothed or naked, attraction occurs. It can occur on a daily basis. You can be attracted to someone's physicality. You can be attracted to somebody's energy. You can be attracted to, you know, a vibe. So attraction isn't something that needs to be shamed in a nudist setting. Again, the important thing is that you handle the situation appropriately with respect, have some decency, integrity, and just be respectful. So just like in a clothes situation, if you're attracted to someone, you know, it's about being respectful, courteous, remembering that nudity is never consent. Nudity is never consent. And we have to remember this. Just because you are in a nudist setting and the person that you find yourself attracted to is naked does not mean that they are asking for unsolicited behavior, unsolicited remarks. Does not mean that they are asking for it by any means. It is no different in a nudist setting, and this is really fucking important to understand, because unfortunately a lot of people think that nudity is consent or that nudity is asking for it, and it just absolutely is not. So handle yourself the way you would handle yourself in a closed situation, which I would hope is with respect, is with decency, is with integrity. And if I have to go into what does it look like to be respectful, then you have a whole other issue that you need to deal with, because I should not have to explain what it looks like to be respectful and courteous and to be appropriate and decent. Okay. All right, let's move on. Number 13, question number 13. What is your favorite activity to do in the nude? I love to do yoga, obviously, in the nude. I don't necessarily really have a favorite activity. Like, I love to be at the beach. As simple and as not exciting as you might have expected, I love to just be at the beach. I've played tennis naked. I've done all sorts of things. I've hiked naked. But yeah, I love to be at the beach naked. I love to be, you know, immersed in the elements of Mother Nature, completely naked. So yeah, doing yoga and being at the beach or just being out in nature naked is always really nice. I also love to dance naked. That's another thing. I love to dance naked. Okay. Question number 14. What do you do in winter when it's cold? I wear clothes. For the most part, I wear clothes. Like I mentioned in my first question, clothes are functional, they are practical, they keep us warm. So just because I am a nudist does not mean that there are these strict rules where I can never wear clothes. That is not what it is to be a nudist. To be a nudist is not restrictive in any way, even in that sense. So nudists, like I mentioned, we wear clothes. And in winter, I wear clothes if I'm cold. I do still host, for example, I host naked yoga classes and we have the heating on and I make it nice and warm and cozy. So I suppose your nudity and your events and activities are more indoors than they are outdoors when it's cold, and you wear clothes outdoors if it's cold. And yeah, I just keep my nudity indoors for the most part. But I also have chosen to live in a subtropical area, which is more accommodating for my lifestyle. So in winter, where I live, for the most part, I can still go to the beach during the day, here and there, because it is warm enough. And I've chosen this intentionally. Okay, last question for today's video. Question number 15. What do you enjoy most about the lifestyle? The empowerment, the liberation, the freedom, this sense of self-acceptance, and really learning to just let go of judgment, to just be able to be at one with my body, to be comfortable in the skin I'm in. Because unfortunately and sadly, that is not the case for a lot of people. And I really do believe that social nudity or nudist friendly lifestyle can really help a lot of people to shift the way that they relate to their body, to empower themselves more, to feel more at one with themselves and their body. You know, spending a lot of time naked really helps to bring more awareness to your body, and with more awareness comes more choice. There's more knowledge, and yeah, I think the beauty is that we can choose how we relate to our body. We can foster and nurture a healthier two-way relationship, two-way communication with our body, and foster a really loving, compassionate, and nurturing relationship with our body. So I think that is one of the most beautiful things for me. And you know, a lot of people say it's like the diversity that you're exposed to, I think, is really crucial and healthy for body image. So I think that that can be really good for people that really want to work on self-acceptance, that are struggling with body image issues. Exposing yourself to diversity, and a diversity of real bodies that are unedited, not airbrushed, unfiltered, is probably one of the most refreshing things about the lifestyle. So that is, yeah, that's it for today. That's the 15 questions. I hope it's given you a little bit of insight into my experience in the lifestyle and my experience as a nudist. Like I said, I answer these questions very personally for the most part. And each nudist's experience is going to be different. It's going to be individual. It's going to be unique. Each nudist's journey into the lifestyle is going to look different. It's going to be different. But yeah, I look forward to doing part 2 of this video and answering even more of your juicy questions. And until then, I hope that you too can enjoy the benefits of being naked, and I am sending you all so much love. See you soon.